Live from Fenway Park in Boston, NESN presents exclusive coverage of Boston Red Sox baseball. Tonight, the Red Sox take on the Cleveland Indians. Hi, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, as always, joined by Jerry Remy. Welcome to Red Sox baseball, the middle game of the three-game series between the Red Sox and Indians. The Red Sox have lost 4 straight, and as they have so many times before, look to the stopper, Pedro Martinez.
Every start that seems like Pedro makes in this first half of the season, people have their fingers crossed, and at times even Pedro himself. But when you look at the numbers for Pedro, it is remarkable. I mean, here he is with 110 strikeouts. That's second best in the league. Only Roger Clemens leads with 113. The .210 batting average against Derek Lowe is a little bit better in that category, and a 2.92 ERA, which is coming down, is now 4th best in the American League. Against the Cleveland Indians in his career, 7-1, and this Cleveland team he's going to be facing tonight, not quite as strong as other Cleveland teams he's faced in the past. But, you know, even though he is not that at 100% done, it's been an outstanding first half for Pedro Martinez, and everybody expects him to be even better in the second half.
Well, he's off a terrific outing last time out against the San Diego Padres, and tonight he'll go up against Ryan Trees, who gets to start tonight on this hot night from Fenway against the Cleveland Indians. We'll have it for you next. Exclusive coverage of Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with low fares, and by Miller Lite. Life is best told at a place called Miller Time. And good evening, everybody. Welcome to steamy Fenway Park tonight, where the Red Sox and the Cleveland Indians get ready for Game 2 of a 3-game series. Let's take a look at the visiting Cleveland Indians starting lineup. Chris Magruder at the top of the lineup is in right field leading off. Holbert Cabrera bats second at second base. Alex Burks is the DH. Jim Thome at first base, 20 home runs, second in the American League. Former Red Sox outfielder Bill Selby at third base. It is Milton Bradley in center field. Ben Broussard in left field bats seventh. Einar Diaz does the catching. And John McDonald's at shortstop batting ninth.
The defense tonight for the Red Sox, Shea Hillenbrand will be at third base. Nomar Garciaparra, the shortstop. Carlos Baerga at second and Jose Offerman at first. Left to right, Manny Ramirez, Johnny Damon, and Trot Nixon. Jason Varitek behind the plate, and on the mound, Pedro Martinez. Start number 16 for Pedro. 8-2, his 8th win coming in his last start against San Diego. 8 innings in that ball game, a couple of hits, no runs, and 11 strikeouts. That's one below his season high of 12. He did that against Seattle back in early May. Against Cleveland, 7-1 in his career. That's 11 starts with a 1.61 ERA, and a lot of different names and faces in this lineup tonight than what Pedro's accustomed to facing from the Cleveland Indians.
Cleveland Indians are 36-40 heading into tonight's action. They're 6.5 games behind Minnesota in the AL Century. Chicago between the Indians and the Minnesota Twins in second place. Pedro's ready, and the first pitch of the ball game in there for a strike. Chris Magruder, the right fielder for the Indians, at .218, 2 homers, and 10 runs batted in. In on the grass at third is Hillenbrand as the pitch misses, 1-1. 88 degrees at Fenway Park tonight. Much of the day spent in the low 90s in the Boston area, but 88 degrees to begin the ball game tonight. Magruder baffled on that pitch, 1-2.
Hot, steamy, muggy night here at Fenway Park.
I think we missed spring in Boston. We went from winter pretty much right into summer. Not much in between. The 1-2, and it's low. 2-2 the count. You may remember that in Pedro's last outing, he began his outing by striking out the first 5 San Diego Padres. He finished his outing by retiring the last 17 Padres in order. This is off the glove of Offerman and into right field. And a tough, hard hop. And aboard at first base is Chris Magruder.
Let's take a look at tonight's game notes, brought to you by Sullivan Tire and Auto Service. Pedro Martinez retired the final 17 batters he faced in his last start against the Padres. The Indians a .239 team batting average. That's the lowest in the American League. And the Indians 9-1 this season against the American League East.
Here is Holbert Cabrera, who's had a miserable season against right-handed pitching. He's 1 for 36 against right-handers at .028 in the season. His batting average at just 111, no homers, 6 runs batted in. Second stint this season with the Indians after being recalled from the Buffalo Bisons on June 16th. Initially had been activated May 2nd from the DL and then was optioned to Buffalo on June 4th before returning here to the big leagues. Actually suffered a gunshot wound in his, well, listed as his right buttocks in December, as this is grounded outside at third and foul.
Yeah, that was back in his home in Colombia. He was on the disabled list at the start of spring training with that injury. A couple of key names out of the lineup tonight, Vizquel and Travis Fryman. Vizquel last night diving for a ball, looked like he might have hurt his shoulder, and that may be the reason he's out of the lineup tonight.
One and one to Holbert Cabrera. Chris Magruder at first base, being held on by Offerman. They ruled that a hit, incidentally, as Cabrera goes lunging and is down to the count 1-2. Yeah, the gunshot wound did take place in his hometown of Cartagena, Colombia. He's appeared in 30 games with the Indians. There's Magruder at first as Pedro works from the stretch. The 1-2. Fouled off. Veritek and back towards the screen. Still 1-2. The Indians are 6.5 games back of the Minnesota Twins in the AL Central. The Red Sox, of course, a half game back of the New York Yankees. The Yankees are taking on the Orioles tonight in Baltimore. We'll keep a close eye on that. Roger Clemens against Rodrigo Lopez. Clemens 8-3, while Rodrigo Lopez, who goes for the O's, 6-3. The game in Baltimore tonight. A 1-2 again. He struck him out. First strikeout of the night for Pedro Martinez. 1 down.
It'll cut fastball that time from Pedro at about 87 miles an hour to pick up the strikeout. Watch at the end. Almost acts like a slider. It's not a slider. It's the cut fastball.
The designated hitter, Ellis.
You mentioned Rodrigo Lopez pitching tonight against the Yankees. He's third in the league in ERA behind Derek Lowe and Bartolo Colon. Lopez at 2.70 ahead of Pedro in that category.
And you may remember his first start of the year was against the Red Sox, who had just been placed into the rotation early on in the season. And it has been a move that has paid big dividends for Mike Hargrove, and almost picked off at first was Magruder. Offerman thought he had him.
Good quick feed here by Pedro, and plenty on the throw, and a very close play at first base. Tag may be a little bit high, and the fingers getting back to the bag. Wow, that was very close.
Ellis Burks, the hitter, with a runner at first and 1 down in the top of the first inning. In the air, stroke well to left. Back goes Ramirez, looking up, and that is gone into the screen. Ellis Burks returning to Fenway Park. It's a 2-run home run. It's his 12th of the year. And the Indians, much like last night, out to the early lead on top 2-0.
Ellis Burks is now 3 for 5 in his career against Pedro Martinez. All 3 hits have been home runs. Once again, it's the cut fastball from Pedro. It stays up in the zone, and Burks finds that left field net. Ellis with his 12th home run of the season, his 37th and 38th RBI.
Here's Jim Thome, who you certainly think about home runs every time he comes to the plate. He's got 20 on the season. His home run total only second to A-Rod. Alex Rodriguez with 22 on the season for the Texas Rangers. And a lot of talk, of course, about the possibility of Thome coming to Boston. Red Sox fans would certainly love to see him at first base. He does have a no-trade clause, but as it has been well documented, he's very good friends with Grady Little. And you would think that given the option of a trade someplace, that this would be one of the spots, knowing Grady as well as he does. And the Indians have been dropping their payroll and would be a free agent. Strike three. Good sequence for Pedro Martinez. His second K of the night. 2 down.
Pedro going outside corner with the cross seam fastball to pick up the strikeout. Nasty pitch right on the corner and beautifully framed there by Jason Varitek. That's the 76th time that Jim Thome has struck out on the season. Puts him third in the league in that category. Always a high total of strikeouts, but also a high total of home runs for Thome.
Here's former Red Sox utility player Bill Selby. He returns to the major leagues. Selby at just 182 with 2 RBIs. Member of the Red Sox in 1996. Grew up in Mississippi, and the first major league game that Bill Selby ever saw was his major league debut. And it was for the Red Sox against the team that he now plays for, the Cleveland Indians. Look out. Wow, that almost took out a few in the front of the Red Sox dugout. Lou Merlone, a former teammate of Bill Selby's, up through the Red Sox system. The 1-2 pitch fouled off the left side. Selby really came up with both Lou Merlone and Nomar Garciaparra. He was the third baseman in that infield in Double-A Trenton. And Lou at second and Nomar at short. Pedro strikes out the side as Varitek applies the tag, but a 2-run home run for Ellis Burks as the Indians on top 2-0. Ellis Burks with a 2-run home run in the first inning has the Indians on top 2-0. Let's take a look at the Red Sox starting lineup tonight as they face Ryan Drees. Johnny Damon at the top of the order. Carlos Baerga, who settled in nicely to that 2 spot. Bats second. Nomar Garciaparra at shortstop. Manny Ramirez in left in the cleanup spot. Shea Hillenbrand at 398 over the last 9 games. Varitek does the catching with Brian Daubach as the DH tonight, batting 7th. Trot Nixon in right, and Jose Offerman bats 9th and plays at first base.
Quickly, the defense for the Indians. Bill Selby at third base. John McDonald the shortstop. Holbert Cabrera at second, and Jim Thome at first. Prasad, Bradley, and Magruder in the outfield. Leonard Diaz behind the plate, and Ryan Drees doing the pitching. He leads all American League rookies with 7 wins and 63 strikeouts.
And the first pitch into Johnny Damon, a strike. Johnny at 324, 6 homers and 35 runs batted in. Currently 4th in the American League in hitting. Sends it out towards Cabrera at second base. Gets the big hop, and Damon's out number 1.
Ryan Drees actually made the starting rotation out of spring training, the number 5 spot in this rotation for the Indians. You see the numbers of 7 and 5, 5.47 ERA. Grady Little talking about him prior to the game tonight. Throws a lot of pitches. The fastball, curve, slider, changeup. Very confident young man. He did pitch once last year against the Red Sox in relief here at Fenway Park. Pitched 4 innings against Boston.
Grady kind of called him cocky, but made it a good cocky, saying that very confident pitcher and the cockiness he will need to be successful at the major league level. Listed his best pitch as a slider from Ryan Drees. Fouled at the plate by Baerga with a count of 1-1. Grady also talking about the fact that he's very happy with Carlos Baerga in the number 2 spot. Rarely gets cheated in his at-bats. Red Sox looking to snap what is a 4-game losing streak heading into tonight's action. And of course, Pedro Martinez acting as a stopper again. Baerga sends it back up the middle into center field. Red Sox have their first hit of the night.
I think the way Grady put it this afternoon, quality at bats is what Baerga gives him out of the 2nd spot in the batting order. Always a tough at bat for the pitcher. Takes some pitches, foul pitches off. Got the breaking ball that time and right up the middle for the base hit. 3-game hitting streak now for Baerga.
Here's Nomar Garciaparra. 312, 9 homers, 58 runs batted in. Red Sox dealing with a 2-run deficit as they bat here in the bottom of the first inning. Nomar chops it outside of third and foul. Omar talking to the print media and broadcast media before the game about the fact that he is fine and that some things have been made about his left wrist. He just had a precautionary MRI and that everything is okay. It's like all the other nagging injuries you kind of play with during the course of the season, and really not anything to worry about. Well, the sore wrist is his left wrist. Of course, the surgery taking place on his right wrist that kept him out for the bulk of last season. Runner takes off at first base. Baerga got an incredible jump and steals second base uncontested and then some.
Well, he's done that about 3 times this season. He's got 5 steals now, and I bet 3 of them are like this. He gets this running lead, and he's gone before that pitcher even delivers the ball to home plate. He must sit there and time the move and figures that he can go at that perfect time. And fortunately for Baerga, no pitcher has stepped off yet on him. He's either getting great jumps or he's real lucky.
Carlos is in scoring position with 1 out. Nomar in the hole, 1 and 2. Trees and a long look at Baerga now spirals off the backside, bluffing. He wants to see the catcher in our Diaz now as he waves him out to the mound.
Now that certainly got his attention, that stolen base with Baerga and that running lead.
Here's Charlie Manuel in his 3rd season at the helm for the Cleveland Indians. Charlie having various health problems over the last few years, and in fact his bench coach Grady Little had to be the interim manager while he was away, but back this season in his 3rd year, and he brings in a team that is 4 games under 500 right now, 36 and 40, and really can be proud of that with the number of changes that the Indians have had this season. The 1-2. Nomar fouls it off the foot.
That's that slider down you were talking about. Looks like a good one, and Garciaparra just fouling it off, and a very painful foul ball.
Long look at Baerga once, twice, and the 1-2 backs Nomar out. 2-2.
Look at fastball. That fastball 93 miles an hour.
'15th appearance of the year for Dries. A high earned run average of 5.47, but a winning record of 7-5. The starting pitching this year has been very good. This is on the ground to third. A look at second. Baerga goes back. The long throw is in time to get Nomar from Bill Selby. 2 down. Baerga was a good distance off the bag, and it looked as if Selby gave some thought to throwing to second base.
Carlos is living dangerously out there. Watch how far he gets trapped. And Selby maybe was blocked by Baerga, and he couldn't see the second baseman. Didn't make the throw, and then finally got Nomar at first base.
Manny in at 364, 9 homers and 35 runs driven in.
Can you name that tune they were playing when Manny got up?
That must be new Manny music as he comes to the plate. You know, that happens a lot in the minor leagues where players are able to request their favorite song as they come to the plate. And Manny's got new music as he steps in there. You should have Remy music when you step into the booth. You just select your own music. Manny 1 for 5 yesterday, a 9-game hitting streak, and of course that counts even though he was gone since May the 11th. Missed 39 games and played in 10 games for the Pawtucket Red Sox. Was 3 for 30 during that time in Pawtucket. Baerga gets second, 2 down in the first inning. Ramirez fights it off foul. 1-2 now to Manny. Manny made no bones about it that he's still not 100% last night after the game. He told a few reporters saying that he's 80%, maybe 70%, maybe 75%, but it is clear that Manny does not feel that he is 100%. He gets the sign. A look out at second base. The 1-2 is in the dirt. And it's 2-2 to Ramirez. And he is 15 home runs shy of 300 in his career. This season with 9 before the injury that took place on May the 11th. Freeze with the 2-2. Ramirez takes it low and away. Full count now to Manny. Shea Hillenbrand waits on deck. Baerga with his lead off second. The payoff pitch is on the ground towards Cabrera at second base. Throws out Ramirez, and that'll do it. Red Sox leave a man in scoring position. We're done with one from Fenway. Cleveland on top 2-0.
Leaders around baseball brought to you by a New England Ford dealers. Ichiro is dropping a little bit at 363. Mike Sweeney 358. Paul Konerko, Johnny Damon, and Soriano the top 5 in the American League. In the National League, Bonds at 354. Todd Helton second. Larry Walker also of Colorado, and 2 Marlins, Castillo and Lowell, the top 5 in the National League.
A lot going on out there in center field.
I accept the nomination.
Oh, now you're accepting the nomination.
Yes, cleaned up the closet.
I was going to say, I thought there's too many skeletons in the closet for you to stage that kind of campaign. Milton Bradley, the former Montreal Expos prospect, stands in. Bradley at 246, 3 homers and 11 runs driven in so far in the season. The Yankees have a 2-1 lead tonight over the Orioles. Gary Matthews Jr. hit a solo home run in the first inning for the Orioles off Roger Clemens, but the Yankees with the 2-1 edge. As Bradley fouls it off over in the direction of the Red Sox dugout. Pedro Martinez, for the 12th time this season, struck out the side in the first inning. And unfortunately for Pedro, a 2-run home run by Ellis Burks mixed in, as the Indians on top 2-0. He makes quick work of Milton Bradley. He closed the first with back-to-back Ks of Thome and Selby. He opens the second with a strikeout of Milton Bradley.
Change up for Pedro, picking up the strikeout, his 4th of the game.
Number 28, the left fielder.
You see that ball dipping down and away from Bradley, the left-handed hitter. That home run that Pedro allowed was the 7th of the season against Martinez.
Here's Ben Brassard, who on a check swing fouls it back to the backstop. Brassard was recalled from the Buffalo Bisons on June 22nd when Todd Dunwoody was placed on the DL. Came over from the Reds in a deal that involved Russell Branyan, who was either homering or striking out, one or the other, for the Cleveland Indians. Enormous strikeout totals for Russell Branyan. This is in the air to center field. Johnny Damon has it sized up. 2 down in the second inning.
It's interesting. I noticed last night that Brassard, who came over for Branyan, same kind of swing. They both have that slight uppercut swing. Brassard struck out a couple of times in the game last night. Makes contact there, but straightaway center field and an easy play for Johnny Damon.
Russell Branyan always kind of struck me as a guy who was all or nothing.
Yeah,
the home
I
run,
guess that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Well, now he's all or nothing for the Cincinnati Reds as he was traded away. Here's the catcher, Einar Diaz. Used to be the backup catcher for Sandy Alomar Jr. And then when Alomar left, Einar Diaz became the everyday catcher. That's 8th in the order at 216 with 2 homers and 12 runs batted in. Diaz was 0 for 4 here last night. And against right-handers under 200 on the season at 199. Over his last 35 games, Diaz hitting at just 170 for the Cleveland Indians. The 3-1 to Diaz is popped up into shallow center field. Carlos Baerga behind second base makes the catch to retire to the side. Pedro has a 1-2-3 second inning. We're through an inning and a half from Fenway. 2-0 Indians. Exclusive coverage of Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Citizens Bank, not your typical bank. By New England Ford. Ford is leading the way with the best-selling cars and trucks. Log on to newenglandford.com for details. And by Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light. Cold down easy. There's some fans from Vermont here tonight.
Fred, and Ron. It's like Darryl and Daryl, you know, the brothers.
Daryl and his other brother Daryl. And in the last of the second inning, Red Sox down 2-0. Shea Hillenbrand, Jason Varitek, and Brian Daubach featured here in the bottom of the second. Shea at .317, 13 homers and 49 runs batted in. Hillenbrand 8th in the American League at .317. Ichiro leading the pack, but he is dipped down a little bit. He's down at .363. Earlier he had been flirting with the 400 mark, but Ichiro at .363 atop the American League in hitting. Red Sox have 3 hitters in the top 10. Johnny Damon at .324. Shea Hillenbrand at .317 and Nomar at .312 heading into tonight's action. Popped up into shallow right field. Cabrera ranging way out to right. Magruder coming in. Easier play for the Indians right fielder. 1 down.
Ryan Drees a couple of years ago, the year 2000, basically missed the whole season. He tore up his ACL, which really means you blew your knee out. And he came back. He was running the bases, I guess, and he hit the first base back the wrong way, and the thing blew out again. So he missed the entire season. Also, when he was in college, or I'm not sure college or high school, one of the two, but he had a knee injury, elbow injury.
Varitek taking the strike. Jason doing the catching. Jason at .263, 5 homers and 27 runs batted in. And he's quickly in the hole, 0-2. Ryan Drees selected by the Indians in the 5th round in 1998. So that being said, he has quickly gotten to the major leagues. Last year, his first season in the bigs. Made 9 appearances and was 1-2 for the Cleveland Indians last year. Ended up at 3 different levels in the Indians organization: AA Akron, AAA Buffalo, and then finished up the year in Cleveland. Soft ground ball down the first baseline that'll go foul. Drees is pretty good size. He is 6'3", 220 pounds. The whole repertoire of pitches, as we mentioned, the best pitch he has, a slider. Then at the University of California, Berkeley, pitched 4 years for the Golden Bears as he strikes out Jason Varitek. First strikeout of the night for Ryan Drees, 2 down.
He had a 10 strikeout game earlier in the season against Kansas City. That's his season high. That was in 8 innings of work back on May the 18th. Had 8 strikeouts in his last outing against the Florida Marlins. I think that game was eventually called because of rain.
Here's Brian Daubach being used as a DH tonight. Brian taking strike 1. 9 homers and 31 runs driven in for Daubach on the season. Brian stayed in the game after pinch hitting last night in the 8th inning. He was 0 for 1. Has 15 hits in his last 92 at bats, 163. His batting average since May the 22nd as he's down in the count 1-2.
Dahlbach hit that ball hard last night with the bases loaded, but right at Jim Thome, the first baseman. They turned it into a double play, and of course that was a key play in the ball game. Bases loaded, nobody out. The Red Sox couldn't score.
Down and in, 2-2 now to Dahlbach. A little situation where the Red Sox had plenty of opportunities to score last night, and they were cashing in on those opportunities earlier in the season, but have gone through a bit of a stretch where they've not been able to cash in. And the 2-2. Up and in. Did it get him? Apparently did. Dahlbach will make his way down to first base. Hit batsman with 2 down in the inning.
Third hit batter of the season for Dries, just barely getting a piece of Dahlbach. Maybe just a piece of that uniform, although on replay you got to wonder, maybe it got that D on the red.
If you're going to get hit, that's the way to do it. So Bryant's at first. Dries will pitch from the stretch. Trot Nixon. 247, 7 homers, 27 runs batted in. In the dirt, ball 1 to Nixon. Nixon a perfect 2 for 2 against Dries with a home run. Trot was 1 for 3 to begin the series. And has 10 hits in his last 27 at bats, starting to show signs of coming out of a bit of a slump. Nixon hitting at 370 over his last 27 at bats. The outfield plays Nixon straight away. Thome holding on Dahlbach at first with 2 down. Nixon with a big cut, 2-1.
These are quite the lids they just brought in for us. This is must be Coke night here at the ballpark.
It's terrific.
This propeller here will fly away. Look at that. Ooh.
Very nice. Do you wear this anywhere but right now?
They're promoting vanilla Coke. Of course, the Coke bottles up on the above the left field wall, they've been changed since we got back. They have a vanilla Coke there now in the middle. Cherry Coke. I don't know what the other one is. It must be just regular Coke, I would think. And a little bit different color. Nice lid, though. See.
In the air to left, Broussard heading back. He's got it sized up on the dirt of the track. He brings it in to retire the side. Nixon gives it a ride. The Red Sox leave a man. We've played 2 from Fenway, 2-0 Cleveland.
Hood is rooting for the Red Sox and kids throughout New England. Each time the Red Sox strike out an opponent, make a double play, or hit a home run at Fenway, Hood donates $100 to the Hood Home Team Advantage Fund. So far, more than $29,000 has been raised for children's hospitals all over New England.
Wow. Do they vote for those kind of things? John McDonald, the former Providence College standout, to lead it off for the Cleveland Indians. McDonald at 278, no homers, 6 runs batted in. We'll just send it down the right field line towards Pesky's pole and foul down beyond it.
Got Kevin Shea in the booth. He enjoys the new lid that came out tonight here at the ballpark, the Coke hat.
It's a terrific look.
Yeah.
And it fits so well. John McDonald in the lineup tonight with Omar Vizquel out. As it is now 2-1 to John McDonald.
Just
comfortable.
I think Jim Corsi's got his on too.
Jim Corsi has his lid on. Oh, it looks great on Big Jim. Back to Martinez. Pedro spears it and throws out McDonald. 1-3 on the put out. Now 6 in a row retired by Pedro Martinez.
Is that a helicopter sound I heard?
Yes. And of course, he spun it around and made that sound.
Number 30, the right fielder.
There's Jim.
Chris.
See, we look ridiculous. Jim looks like that hat was made for him.
He just now stopped sweating from the pregame show.
Oh, I lost my lid. This is terrible. And the strike to Chris Magruder, who singled to right field his first time. Oh, 1-1 to Magruder. Pedro missing high and inside. 2-1. Pedro has struck out 4 through the first 2 1/3 innings. Giving up 2 hits, a leadoff single to Magruder, who bats for the second time, then the 2-run home run by Ellis Burks. In there for the strike, and it's now 2-2.
Magruder called up to the big leagues when the Indians released Brady Anderson. Anderson did not produce for the Indians, very similar to what he did last year with the Orioles. Took a shot on it, didn't work out.
Brady Anderson has had a couple of very difficult years. Amazing he had the 50-plus home run season in 1996. So this twists its way foul down the left field line. But really since then, Anderson, his numbers declining quickly over the years. Good news from Baltimore. The Orioles have taken a 3-2 lead over the Yankees. Jake Gibbons has hit a 2-run home run. In the bottom of the first inning, they're just in the second inning, and Baltimore has a 3-2 lead over New York. Here, the Indians on top 2-0. As Pedro working to Chris Magruder with 1 out. And the 2-2. Popped up. Nomar back astride on the outfield grass. Takes care of it. 2 down.
Is there some reason you're standing behind us? With that hat on?
Yeah, I enjoy the look up close. From far on TV, it was not as good as it is up close. I mean, it fits perfect. Look how well this fits. It's even tight.
That's nice, yeah. You look good. Yeah, you look good.
That's terrific. Cabrera struck out his first time. In there for the strike, and it's 1-1 to Cabrera. Robert Cabrera, the brother of Orlando Cabrera, who spent time in the major leagues. This is sent towards right center. Damon's on the run, going full bore. He'll make the catch. Wow. A spectacular catch from Johnny Damon into right center field. NESN's exclusive coverage of Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Aflac. Ask about it at work. By Pepsi, the joy of Pepsi. And by your New England Chrysler dealers. Chrysler, drive equals love. Well, certainly one of the reasons the Red Sox acquired that man is fine defensive play and a great effort this last half inning.
Oh, you don't see any better than this. I mean, if this is not a web gem and a winner, I don't know what's going to be. Damon has had some sensational catches in the first 2 games of this series, and you can't make a better play than that. It gets by him. It's rolling a 420 and probably a triple. And the guy that makes the great catch always hits second the next inning.
Jose Offerman to lead it off, batting for the first time tonight. Jose batting ninth. 223, 4 homers, and 21 runs batted in. And Offerman takes the strike, 1-1. Offerman pinch hitting in the ninth last night, 0 for 1. Has just 17 hits in his last 103 at bats. Over the last 32 games, Jose has hit at 165. And the strike to Offerman, 2-2. Ryan Drees trying to win his 8th game of the year, coming in at 7-5. The Indians as a club, a 4.46 earned run average, pretty much smack dab in the middle of the pack. The Red Sox with a 3.68 earned run average, still leading the American League in that category. Grady Little met with all the pitchers today, really to congratulate them on what has been a terrific first half. As Offerman strikes out, second K for Drees, 1 down.
Well, you can see what the Cleveland people and Grady Little was talking about this afternoon. This kid does have confidence, and he's got good stuff. Good breaking ball there to pick up the strikeout. He does not seem to be intimidated by the major leagues.
He's at 26 years old as he goes after Johnny Damon. Last year with the Indians in 9 games was 1-2. Made 4 starts, 5 appearances out of the Cleveland bullpen. Damon bounced out to second base his first time up. Right stuff up and in at 93 miles per hour. 2-1 now to Damon. Carlos Baerga waits on deck. On the ground, McDonald ranges around second base, gets rid of it quickly and in time to get Damon. John McDonald, a very, very good defensive middle infielder, and he was really stuck at the AAA level for the Cleveland Indians with both Roberto Alomar here and Omar Vizquel, but he's finally at the big league level.
He looked a little bit like Vizquel making that play. A lot of range to his left, a very quick release, making the throw on the run. That's the way Omar makes him.
I had the chance to see him a lot at the AAA level, and you could tell that defensively he was certainly a major league caliber player. But when you have the likes of Omar Vizquel and Roberto Alomar ahead of you, odds are you're going to be waiting a little while. And it took really Roberto Alomar to leave.
Vizquel's only won 9 Gold Gloves.
I mean, in the air to left off the bat of Baerga. Brassard ranging back shy of the track. That'll do it in the third. A 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Drees. We played 3 from Fenway, 2-0 Cleveland. It's all about the beer. Heineken. And by Applebee's. Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar. Eating good in the neighborhood Applebee's.
The designated hitter.
Through the first 3, the Indians on top 2-0. A 2-run home run by Ellis Burks. The difference in the game. Burks leads it off. As we head into the top of the 4th, the home run for Ellis is 12th of the season. Up into the screen and left. Certainly Burks, one of the holdovers of what used to be the Cleveland Indians. They come into Fenway and into the season with a very different looking lineup than you're used to for the Cleveland Indians. Two of the big names, Juan Gonzalez, Roberto Alomar, Kenny Lofton. It's a very different looking Cleveland Indians unit, and as a result, Burks batting 3rd now in the Indians order. Ellis 37 years old. The last a member of the Red Sox in 1992. In there for the strike, 2-2. You coached him at the AA level, did you?
Ellis Brooks, yes, back in 1988, I believe it was. 87, maybe. No, it was 86.
You were there, right?
It was 86. It was definitely 86, the year the Red Sox went to the World Series. Well, it's a cut fastball that Brooks hit for a home run in his first at bat. He didn't see one this time. That's the curveball from Pedro. Pick up the strikeout. On that particular team, they had Ellis Brooks, of course, got to the big leagues. Terrific career. Jody Reed got to the big leagues. Sam Horn got to the big leagues. John Marzano got to the big leagues. So there are a number of guys that were at New Britain that year.
Little Beehive Stadium, which
I'll tell you who else was on that team. Jim Corsi was on that team. Yeah, they released him at the end of the year and then eventually ended up also in the big leagues. But yeah, there are quite a few guys that had pretty decent careers.
And you were the hitting coach there at the time?
No, there was no such thing. Just a coach.
Just a coach. Jim Thome struck out in the first inning. Pedro with 5 strikeouts. He's retired 9 Indians in a row since Ellis Burks hit the 2-run home run in the first inning. In the dirt, 1-2. I remember Beehive as being an enormous yard and very difficult to hit a home run out of.
Another guy in that club was DeMarlo Hale. He's now a coach in the big leagues. He's in the Red Sox organization for a while. Is now a coach with the Texas Rangers. He was a third baseman on that club.
Some of the home run numbers there were always kind of tilted. You see guys with big home run numbers, and they play at the Beehive, and their home run numbers were minimal.
You know what, though? It was a good place to learn how to play the game of baseball. You couldn't rely on home runs to win games. You had to do the little things. Play that National League style baseball there. And it's a good ballpark to learn in, but for guys that had power, it was no fun playing there.
Old Jeff Bagwell hit only 4 home runs there one year. I think, did Mo Vaughn come through there as well? He might have. I don't think his numbers were very good there as well. This is hit a ton to right field. Nixon is headed back. Front of the track at the wall. It is gone. Home run number 21 for Jim Thome. He's now a home run in behind A-Rod. Alex Rodriguez leading the league, and Thome second. The solo shot is 21st of the year as the Indians on top 3-0.
Both home runs in this game off Pedro have been on the same pitch, the cut fastball. Brooks got to cut it for a home run, and the same thing here with Thome. Pedro wanted to go more inside with that pitch, left it on the inside part of the plate, and Thome hits number 21.
The 8th home run given up by Pedro Martinez this season, as Bill Selby, the strikeout victim his first time, takes ball 1.
Thome just looks like a power hitter, doesn't he?
It does. Selby with a half-hearted swing, 1-1.
Big, strong guy, big swing. Lets it loose on every single pitch.
On the ground outside of first, 1-2. Well, Selby, a member of the Red Sox back in 1996. Then he went to Japan for a year for the Yokohama Bay Stars. Then has been in the Cleveland organization since returning to the States in 1998. And it evens out at 2-2 to Selby. Strike 3 to Selby. Strikeout number 6 for Pedro Martinez. 2 down. Time now for our Aflac trivia question.
Whack, whack.
Which major league team was the first to wear uniform numbers? The answer for you in the next half inning. Two down. Here's Milton Bradley, who struck out swinging his first time. Pedro now 6 strikeouts. Pedro at one point had retired 9 Cleveland Indians in a row before the solo home run by Jim Thome. And a big cut for Milton Bradley. Bradley is still just 24 years old. Slashes it foul back to the backstop. 93 miles per hour that time. 0-2.
Back-to-back fastballs, probably the two best that Pedro's thrown in the game. One at 93, one at 94.
Landed low to Bradley. Bradley, originally a Montreal Expos second-round pick in 1996. Came to the Cleveland Indians from the Expos in exchange for Zach Day. The trade deadline of last season. Slices it foul, back and out of play. Last year was the starting center fielder for Montreal on opening day, but he scuffled through April, hitting just 200. And at one point was sent back to AAA Ottawa before the trade to Cleveland. Evens up at 2-2. A little number in behind the plate. Still 2-2 to Milton Bradley.
Did you see where Bonds and Jeff Kent had it in the dugout last night?
I understand that is not the first time the two have disagreed on a couple of different subjects. Two pretty fiery players. But you don't often see that for the TV cameras viewing. Just missing. Pedro thought he had it. It was framed by Veritek, and it's a full count.
Two pitches missing back. Pedro thought he had for strikes. This last would hear the fastball, and then he also a curveball earlier.
Fouled off the left side. I'm sure a lot of tussles like that take place out of the viewership of many and in the clubhouses, I imagine.
Yeah, there have been some in clubhouses, some on buses, some on airplanes, some in restaurants.
Have you been involved in any of these scuffles?
Always the peacemaker, Don.
You're a lover, not a fighter?
There's not a lot of them. I mean, you know, you maybe see a handful of them throughout the course of your career.
On the ground towards Baerga. Takes the tough hop and throws out Bradley to retire the side. The Indians get another run on the solo home run from Jim Thome. 3.5 done. 3-0 Cleveland. And Jerry Remy back at Fenway Park. The Red Sox trailing 3-0. Cleveland getting to Pedro Martinez in the first inning after a leadoff base hit by Magruder. Ellis Burks with his 12th home run of the year into the screen and left. But the Indians on top 2-0. They'd had a home run last inning from Jim Thome in the top of the 4th inning. Baerga with a single and a stolen base. Drees 3 shutout innings, giving up just 1 hit so far for the Indians. Pedro has given up 3 runs, 2 home runs on 3 hits. He has struck out 6 and walked no one, but the Red Sox down 3-0 as they come to bat in the bottom of the 4th inning. Nomar Garciaparra, Manny Ramirez, and Shea Hillenbrand to face Ryan Drees. The second time that this trio has had a chance to face the right-hander. Nomar pops it up foul off first. Jim Thome moving over to the Boston dugout, makes the catch. Had another step or so in which to deal with, but made the catch kind of leaning towards the dugout. And Nomar retired on the foul out.
Thome going toward unfriendly territory in that Red Sox dugout, but a nice job as he get right to take a peek right there. Knows he's got a little more room to go and reaches out, makes the catch. Every time I see that play, I think of the one in Anaheim where Mo Vaughn went tumbling down the dugout steps and ended up missing really the whole year because of that, almost the whole season.
Is that his first game, if I'm not mistaken?
With the Angels, yeah.
I mean, it just got off to a very bad start there in Anaheim for Mo, and of course he's now with the New York Mets. And if you're looking for, this is chopped towards the shortstop. McDonald from back the second throws out Manny. 2 pitches and 2 outs quickly in the inning. Time now for the Aflac trivia question and answer. Which major league team was the first? And the answer, the Cleveland Indians. June 26th of 1916 was the first time. They wore numbers on their sleeves at first against the White Sox. First major league club to do so. They only did it for that season. 1929, the Yankees were the first team to wear numbers on their backs. The Red Sox and all other American League clubs joined them in 1931.
Red Sox and Yankees also one of the few teams around in baseball that still don't put names on the back of their home uniforms. The Red Sox have it on the road. The Yankees do not.
And for those of you who visit Tigers, I was going to say Tiger Stadium, Comerica Park in Detroit, and there's no number for Ty Cobb. He did not wear a number, so his name is out there in lieu of the number in the retired numbers area. And their first strike, 1-2. Anyway, back to disappointments. The Mets have really been a very big disappointment this year. Not that it's Mo's fault by any stretch of the imagination, but you think of the guys that they went out and got during the offseason: Jeremy Burnett, Mo Vaughn, good pitching. They have really struggled this season. The Mets now 7.5 games back of the Braves as that series continues.
Now the Mets spent a lot of money to try to build up that offense, and it just hasn't worked out so far this season. Alomar's numbers are down. Certainly Mo has not done very much. Jeremy Burnett's
down the right field line and out of play. 1-2 to Shea. There are many who are calling for the jobs of both Steve Phillips, the general manager, and Bobby Valentine, the manager. And the Mets are in the midst of a very tough stretch in which they play the Braves, and then they will welcome the Yankees as we get back into interleague play. The 1-2 to Hillenbrand is in the air to left field. Broussard started back, now in and over, and that'll do it in the inning. Another 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Dries. Through 4 from Fenway. Indians on top 3-0.
Now batting for Cleveland, number 28, the left
And
fielder.
so far the offense has had a little R&R. They need to get it going here tonight.
As we get ready for the visiting half of the 5th inning, Red Sox have been held to just 1 hit. And Pedro has held Cleveland to 3 hits. Unfortunately, 2 of the 3 hits have been home runs. Look out. Has grounded back quickly into the seats. Ben Broussard, the hitter, flied out to center field his first time. It's this well to right field, sending Nixon back at the track, at the wall. It's gone. Another home run tonight for the Cleveland Indians, the 3rd of the night. This time Ben Broussard hits his first home run of 2002, and he does it off Pedro Martinez to put the Indians on top 4-0.
First major league home run, and it comes off Pedro Martinez. This is the fastball, not the cut fastball, the straight fastball, and Broussard with that uppercut swing. Puts it over in that Red Sox bullpen. He'll get that souvenir eventually.
Leonard Diaz popped out to second base his first time. So 3 home runs given up tonight by Pedro. He had given up 6 coming into tonight's game on the season, and he's given up 3 tonight. Ellis Burks, Jim Thome, and Ben Broussard on the home runs.
That same life, or late life we should call it, that we saw in that fastball in San Diego, not there tonight. 92 miles an hour tonight. In San Diego we had it at times at 94.
You just don't know what to expect from outing to outing. He's thrown 76 pitches in his outing tonight, 4+ innings.
Tonight also a very warm, humid night, easy night to get loose.
Held off the right side, and it's still 2-2 to Leonard Diaz. You know, you think he has turned the corner at times, certainly after that outing in San Diego. He was dominant throughout his performance. And Diaz goes lunging. Strikeout number 7 for Pedro. 1 down.
Diaz, very tough guy to strike out. Only the 19th time this season. Pedro gets him to chase a changeup that really never had the strike zone. But just the fact that it was an off-speed pitch completely fooled Diaz. They had that little confrontation, 2 years ago in Cleveland, and Pedro hit Diaz or threw at him, and Diaz had been kind of lunging over the plate, hit the ball hard a couple of times against Pedro.
John McDonald, who we mentioned, from New London, Connecticut, Providence College graduate and former Providence College standout, along with Lou Merlone. This is line to right center field. Johnny Damon on the run. He'll get there. Into the hook slide to bring it in. Damon putting on a defensive clinic in center field. 2 down.
This one not quite as spectacular as the one earlier in the ball game, but certainly another fine play by Johnny Damon. He's shading slightly toward the opposite field. Again, the excellent jump, and makes the play on McDonald. Be tough to beat the one, though, he made earlier in the ball game off Cabrera.
There's Chris Magruder, the top of the Indians order, singled and scored in the 1st inning. Pops out to the shortstop in the 3rd inning. Line down the left field line, a foul ball. Not much room to find down there in foul ground, but he did. Magruder 1 for 2 tonight. He has one of only 4 hits for the Indians. He set the table for the 2-run home run for Ellis Burks back in the 1st inning. And the breaking ball in there for strike 3. 8 strikeouts for Pedro Martinez, but a leadoff home run by Ben Broussard as the Indians on top 4-0. Wow.
The catcher, Jason Barrett.
Wow. Well, we're on down to the bottom of the 5th inning. 4-0. The Red Sox dealing with a 4-run deficit, and they are up against a pitcher tonight who's pitched very well, and Ryan Dries, giving up just the 1 hit. The second batter that he faced, Carlos Baerga, back in the 1st inning. Otherwise, that's been it. Very impressive so far tonight as he works into the bottom of the 5th inning. The Yankees have jumped ahead of the Orioles again in the top of the 4th inning. New York on top 4-3. Rondell White with a 2-run home run for New York. So they're back and forth tonight in Baltimore. Seven in a row retired by the Cleveland starter. And Veritek spins away from that offering. 2-1.
Dries also not afraid to pitch inside. He was inside and he hit Daubach early in the ball game. Came inside there against Veritek.
Evans up now 2-2. Well, yesterday the Red Sox sending Casey Fossum back to Pawtucket, and now Fossum and Sonny Kimball starting down in Pawtucket as this is chopped right side, finds its way through into right. Jason Veritek has Boston's 2nd hit of the night, and the lead man is on for the first time in this one for the Red Sox.
Veritek now with a 4-game hitting streak.
The designated hitter.
Ground ball, Tomey fairly close to the line. He gives up on it early as he thinks the second baseman Cabrera can get there, but he can't do it. Veritek picks up the hit. So it's Veritek and Baerga with the 2 hits in the game for the Red Sox.
There at second first, Brian Daubach was hit by a pitch back in the second inning and reached, but never left first base. The Red Sox have yet to have a base runner get to third.
That's a good shot breaking.
The point I was going to make about the pitchers that are now in Pawtucket, the starters, you have Fossum there, you have Sonny Kim there, Paxton Crawford trying to work his way back. And the Red Sox hoping that some of those guys can come back in starting capacities. Sonny Kim going down, looking to extend his time as a starter, and Casey Fossum as well. And interesting to see how those guys fare if they do come back as starters.
Well, it all depends on what they're going to need throughout the course of the season. You know, if the pitching stays good and they don't need a starting pitcher, but they need some help in the bullpen, they'll go to one of those guys and they'll find themselves back out in the bullpen again.
Daubach fouls it off, 1-2.
That's the advantage of going down and being put in that starting rotation. They build up their innings, their arm strength, their pitch count, and if they do need a starter, well, at least they have some guys available to call on.
There at second first. The Red Sox trailing by 4 runs as they bat in the bottom of the 5th inning. A 1-2. Daubach juices this to left center field. Back by the wall. Off the bottom of the wall. Varitek is running the ricochet. Nasty gets by Bradley. Varitek's going to try and score from first base and will on the wall ball RBI double for Brian Daubach. Red Sox on the board.
Daubach's got 32 RBI now in the season, and 22 of them have come here at Fenway Park. That breaking ball was not a shot break. It kind of hung up in the zone, and Daubach plants it off that left field wall. Misplayed by Bradley. The Parent misplayed. He got in too tight to it. It deflects by him, and that allows Varitek to come around to score the first run for the Red Sox.
He's got to feel good for Brian Daubach, who has struggled as of late. A double to drive in a run. It was Nixon who flied deeply to right his first time. Off the glove of Tomey into right. Daubach will be stopped at third as Magruder in right comes up with it quickly. And a hot shot that glances off the glove of Jim Tomey. The Red Sox coming with the bats here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The 3rd consecutive hit off Ryan Drees.
Mike Brown, the pitching coach, coming out to try to quiet things down for the rookie pitcher. Been breezing along in this game until this inning. 2 of the 3 balls hit really hard. The one by Daubach and that last one by Nixon, just a rocket off the glove of Tomey. Line shot. You see Daubach has to freeze at second base, make sure that line drive is not caught, and there's no chance of scoring him from that point, and especially with nobody out in the inning.
Has thrown 65 pitches through 4+ innings for Charlie Manuel. But again, through the first 4, he gave up just 1 hit. That was to Carlos Baerga back in the first inning. Red Sox had only 2 base runners through the first 4, but a single, a double, and another single, a run in. Runners at the corners, nobody out. Offerman, a strikeout victim his last time up in the 3rd inning. Inside to Jose. On deck, Johnny Damon. This is really where last night and as of late the Red Sox have been unable to convert. A pretty good opportunity here. Runners at the corners, nobody out. Up and away. And Reeves now struggling with his control. 2-0. Off the backside of the mound goes Drees. In the midst of a meeting with himself. We'll throw over. Nixon back in plenty of time. The 2-0. Offerman takes, and it's 3-0. Right now, Dries can't throw a strike all of a sudden. Action for the first time in the bullpen. Chad Paronto up in the pen. Offerman taking all the way and taking ball 4. First walk of the night given up by Ryan Dries, and they will load him up. At the top of the Boston order, Johnny Damon will be next. A .430 career hitter with the bases loaded. 4 grand slams for Johnny Damon. Nobody out in the bottom of the 5th inning. A run already in. Daubach. Strike 1 to Damon. So Dries could not throw a strike to Offerman, but he starts off ahead of Johnny Damon.
Went to a different pitch. Went to the breaking ball to try to get ahead with the strike.
Damon lines it down the right field line. It's in and rolling to the corner. Daubach will score. Nixon will score. Offerman will be sent around. The throw is cut off. Into third with a bases clearing triple goes Johnny Damon. We're all tied at 4.
Johnny Damon gets a slider down and in and rifles it down in that right field corner. His 6th triple of the season that ties him for the lead in the American League with Lofton and Ichiro, and more importantly clears the bases. Damon turning it on between 2nd and 3rd. And the Red Sox have tied this ball game up. Well, this has come in a hurry against Dries.
Here's Carlos Baerga. 1 for 2 tonight. Single to center field. Inside to Baerga. 2-0. The go-ahead run at third base is 90 feet away. Double-barreled action in the bullpen for Cleveland. Manuel staying with Dries against the left-hander and Baerga, and he's falling behind 3-0.
He's all out of whack now.
He just sort of lost it here in the 5th inning. After an extremely good first 4, he has given up 3 consecutive hits to begin the inning, a walk, and then a bases clearing triple. 5 batters, 4 runs with a runner at third, and not even close. They'll walk Baerga. Second walk of the inning, end of the outing, and we'll see if he faces any more batters, and the answer is no. Heath Murray joined Chad Paronto in the last couple of moments as Manuel will take the ball from Ryan Dries, who just lost it here all of a sudden in the 5th inning. The Red Sox getting to him for 4 runs so far. Responsible for the 2 runners on, and he'll leave with nobody out. Still in the midst of the bottom of the 5th, now tied at 4.
Fans entering Fenway to watch the Red Sox take on the Blue Jays on Wednesday, July 3rd will receive a Red Sox keychain, compliments of S. A limited amount of single tickets are still available for that game.
Well, things went sour in a hurry for Ryan Dries, and Chad Paronto comes from the pen.
Paronto last year was in the Baltimore organization, appeared in 24 games with the Orioles and 33 with Rochester, was claimed on special waivers in the offseason. Called up at the end of April to the Indians, making his 20th appearance. He is was born in Woodsville, New Hampshire, but now lives in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Went to the University of Massachusetts at Amherst.
Went to high school and graduated from Woodsville, New Hampshire High School in 1993. All-state in basketball and baseball. And resides in the beautiful Berkshires. The heart of the Red Sox order coming up. Runners at the corners, nobody out. Tied at 4. Damon at third, Baerga at first. Nomar 0 for 2 tonight. And he slaps it foul on the ground over by the Indians dugout. Toronto is pretty big, 6'5", 255 pounds. Jerry mentioned he was claimed off special waivers. Any idea what special waivers?
I guess they're more special than waivers.
The 0-1 to Nomar. Baerga takes off at first, and he will get the second uncontested.
He did it again. The same thing. Pitchers refuse to look at him, and he takes that little jab step and walking lead towards second base, and he's gone before they deliver the ball. Watch this. Watch Baerga now as he'll take that walking lead towards second. He's gone. I mean, how many times did they let him get away with that?
2 stolen bases tonight for Carlos Baerga. 2 in scoring position, nobody out. The 1-1. Garcia Parra sends it in the air to right. Magruder back in right. Tagging will be Damon at third. He will easily score as the Red Sox take the 5-4 lead on the sac fly to right. Nomar gets credit for his 59th RBI. The Red Sox have erased a 4-run deficit and lead at 5-4.
And a good sacrifice fly. Not only does he get the go-ahead run to the plate, home plate, and make it 5-4, but he gets Baerga to third with less than 2 outs. No rush to lead there. You know you're going to score easily if you're Johnny Damon. Now with Manny up, they'll pull the infield in.
Manny Ramirez, the 8th member of the Red Sox to bat in the 5th inning. He's bounced out twice, once to second, once to short. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Infield in. Rolling away, ball 1. Chris Singleton has homered in the bottom of the 4th inning for the Orioles. They're now tied 4-4 with the Yankees as they go back and forth in Baltimore tonight. The 1-0 Ramirez. This is low again, 2-0. All 5 runs in this, the bottom of the 5th inning, charged to the starter, Ryan Dries, who remains on the bench 4+ innings, giving up so far 5 runs. He's responsible for Baerga, who's at third base with 1 out.
Well, that fell apart real fast. And he was pitching a terrific ball game.
Certainly did. In there for the strike to Manny, 2-1. Dries had given up just 1 hit through the first 4 innings, and then he gave up 3 consecutive hits, a walk, a triple, a walk, and then he left. Did not get an out, facing 6 Red Sox hitters in this, the 5th inning, 5 of which have scored. The 2-1 to Manny Ramirez. Blowing away. He's been very careful in dealing with Manny. 3-1. Ramirez had a hit last night in his return to the Red Sox lineup. 0 for 2 so far tonight. Big cut from Ramirez, swinging for the downs, but it's a full count.
Really chasing a bad pitch there. A little bit over anxious for Manny on the 3-1 count. Didn't get something in his zone. Probably ball 4. That ball well out of the strike zone. Manny anxious to do something big.
Toronto looks at third, and the payoff pitch. Ramirez grounds it through the left side into left field. From third comes Baerga, and the Red Sox lead it 6-4. Manny Ramirez, welcome back to the Red Sox lineup. An RBI single, and Boston leads it by 2.
Badly Ramirez wanted to drive in a run. He swung at a bad pitch, 3-1, but he gets a good pitch on 3-2, and with that infield drawn in, and he picks up his 36th RBI of the season. He has a 10-game hitting streak. Had an 8-gamer before going on to the save list. Had one last night and adds to it tonight.
Shea Hillenbrand, the 9th member of the Red Sox, to bat here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The book is now closed on Dries, who went 4+ innings, giving up 5 hits and 6 runs. Walked 2, struck out 2. And despite the fact that his book is now closed, he remains on the bench for the Indians for the remainder of the inning, apparently. Chopped to third. Selby goes to second for 1. They won't have a chance at first as Hillenbrand beats it down the line. They get the lead man in Ramirez. And the inning will continue.
Well, a new life for Pedro Martinez in this game, and we'll see how Pedro comes out in the 6th inning. He's given up 3 home runs. The most he's allowed in the game, 4. He's done that twice, and that was back in 1998, both times.
Pedro has thrown 83 pitches tonight through 5 innings. Jason Varitek started the inning off with a base hit to right. He's what got all of this started. And 6 runs later, he bats again and hits it high in the air to right center field, very high. Wilton Bradley coming over from center field, and he'll make the catch back by the track. Little communication problem with the right fielder. The Red Sox get to Ryan Dries to the tune of 6 runs in the bottom of the 5th at the end of 5, 6-4 Boston.
Back at Fenway, the Red Sox have taken a 6-4 lead through 5 innings. Let's check the stolen base leaders around baseball, brought to you by Mobile Speed Pass. Soriano and Lofton tied at 21. Ichiro with 18. National League Louis Castillo 26. Juan Pierre drops to 2nd place with 24, and Alex Sanchez of Milwaukee has the 19.
Well, quite an inning for the Red Sox. A 6-run bottom of the 5th inning. And the Red Sox have now given Pedro Martinez, who went from a 4-run deficit to a 2-run lead to work with as we move to the top of the 6th inning.
And we'll see if Pedro comes out with a little extra life here in the 6th inning after being given the 6 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning. Johnny Damon with the big triple to clear the bases, drive in 3 runs.
How good a game has he had tonight?
Pretty good. And just, pretty good defense, big hit. Do we give a star of the game?
I think we do. Yeah, I think he deserves it if we do.
He's got a good shot at it right now.
He has done it all tonight from a defensive standpoint and an offensive standpoint. There's Holbert Cabrera, the 2nd baseman for the Indians, who was struck out, fly deeply to center field his last time up. One thing Pedro did do is sit a while as the Red Sox hit around. He's now thrown 85 pitches in his outing as he works here in the top of the 6th inning. Chopped softly to Hillenbrand. Couple of steps and a good, hard, accurate throw, 1 down. For all the worrying that Red Sox Nation has done about Pedro Martinez, you look at his numbers coming into tonight at 8-2, a 2.92, and while he has not been the Pedro of old and certainly not been the dominating pitcher, his numbers are still very good.
Well, there's an awful lot of pitchers in baseball that would like to have those numbers. But even Pedro himself knows that they could even be better.
Tonight in search of his 9th victory of the year. In his 16th start of the season. Burks 1 for 2 with a home run as he lifts this in the air to right field. Trot Nixon started back, now in, 2 down.
And it would be awful nice too if Pedro had a nice easy inning, low pitch count, and get the offense back at the plate as quickly as possible.
Number 25, the first baseman, Jim Thome.
Jim Thome has one of 3 Cleveland home runs tonight off Pedro. Joining Ellis Burks and Ben Broussard. The home run for Thome was his 21st of the year and has him just a home run in behind A-Rod for the lead in the American League in that category. Sends it to the right side with the shift on, and Baerga throws him out. Pedro does just that, comes up with the 1-2-3 inning after the 6th run output for Boston in the 5th. 6-4 Red Sox as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Coverage of Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Corona. Relax and enjoy an ice cold Corona Extra. And by your New England Jeep dealer. Jeep, there's only one. Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy back at Fenway Park. Red Sox on top 6-4 as we get ready for the bottom of the 6th inning. The Indians will employ their 3rd pitcher of the night as they bring on lefty Heath Murray into the game.
It's only his 2nd appearance. He was called up from AAA Buffalo, spent the first 2.5 months down at the AAA level. Signed as a free agent in the offseason. Spent last year with the Tigers, 40 appearances for Detroit. He's also had major league time with San Diego.
Originally a 3rd round pick of the Padres back in 1994. 6'4", 210-pound lefty who will deal with left-handed hitting Brian Daubach to begin things here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Moving with the bag at 3rd is Bill Selby as the rest of the Indians infield is backed up. Outfield play straight away pretty deep for Daubach. Murray gets the first one in there for a strike. Daubach has been hit by a pitch in a run. The RBI good for his 32nd RBI of the year. Facing Heath Murray, who's 28 years old. Has been in the big leagues with the Padres and the Tigers. Suffered through a miserable season last year with Detroit. He made 40 appearances for the Tigers last year. Was 1-7 with a 6.54 earned run average in 63 1/3 innings. And 36 of those outings came from the bullpen. Made 4 starts for the Tigers last year, but a very difficult season for Heath Murray. Daubach waves at that pitch, 1-2.
Nice visit between innings from Al Bunbury, who is now in the Cleveland organization, former coach with the Red Sox, and of course great Baltimore Oriole player, and he's working part-time. His project right now is Dan Broussard out there in left field. He's worked with him a lot in the outfield and spent some time with the major league team. Goes back and works with the young players in the minor leagues. Nice to see Al again.
Daubach fooled on that pitch, strikes out. They'll need to throw him out, and they do. First strikeout for Heath Murray, 1 down. A long time for the Baltimore Orioles.
Oh yeah, very good center fielder, a lot of speed, do a lot of things with the bat.
The right fielder, Trot Nixon.
1 down. Trot Nixon making his way to the plate. Nixon 1 for 2, singled and scored a run in the 5th inning. One of now 6 Red Sox hits. And the strike to Nixon. Red Sox with a 6-run bottom of the 5th inning tonight.
And we'll see how things go for the Red Sox, but sometimes when an offense has been struggling, it takes an inning like that to get you back on track. 6 spot put up in the 5th inning to take the lead after being down 4-0.
After being swept by the Dodgers over the weekend, dropping the first game of the series last night. Nixon lofts it to shallow left center. That'll get over the head of McDonald, and Trot Nixon collects his second hit of the night.
And Nixon this time picking the base hit up off a left-handed pitcher. He'll go down, and the pitch that's down and off the plate, actually down and away, and just pops it over the head of McDonald for the base hit. Nixon with a 4-game hitting streak, 2 for 3 tonight.
Here's Jose Offerman, who walked his last time up, came around to score the 4th Boston run. Jose scored as part of the bases clearing triple. The bases loaded that Johnny Damon drove in 3 runs on, which at the time tied the score. Damon would score on the sac fly by Nomar Garciaparra, and then the single by Manny Ramirez to bring in Carlos Baerga, and that's given the Red Sox their 6-4 advantage. On the outside corner, 1-1 now to Offerman. Johnny Damon waits on deck.
Red Sox could try a hit and run. You've got a pitcher out there that doesn't appear to be a strikeout pitcher.
Over and Nixon back in plenty of time. They struck out only 42 in 63 and a third innings last year. Murray with the 1-1 up and away. Offerman doesn't chase. 2-1 the count.
And if they're going to do it, they'd probably do it on this count here, the 2-1 count. Brady taking a peek down at that bullpen. They got a right-hander loosening up. Do the Indians.
The 2-1 to Offerman. Murray with the long pause. Offerman slices it foul. And it's 2-2. Action in the pen, as Jerry mentioned. Jared Riggin in the bullpen. Brady does not really have a special spot in the dugout, does he? A lot of the managers have always stood in the nearest side to home plate. He spends a lot of time at the end of the dugout.
Roams around. Checks on things down there with Ricky, the police officers. Move back to the other end.
And 2-2 will have to wait to check on Nixon. Wonder if things are not going well. Maybe he tries to mix it up a little bit. Maybe if he stands somewhere different in the dugout, things will change. Maybe we didn't really notice, but maybe during the 6-run inning he started off down there. Maybe he doesn't want to leave now that he's down there. Offerman grounds it back to Cabrera. He'll start the 4-6-3 inning-ending double play. So that'll do it in the 6th. On to the 7th inning. Red Sox on top 6-4.
Stan, will you marry her? Why not, Stan? Go for it.
Wow. I wonder where Stan is.
Well, Stan's not at the game. Maybe he's working.
Here's Bill Selby, who has struck out twice tonight against Pedro. His 3rd go around, hitting at 167. Bill Selby, a Red Sox draft choice, a 13th round pick by Boston back in 1992. First got to the majors with the Red Sox in 1996. Played in 40 games for Boston that year. Spent the bulk of that season in 1996 in Pawtucket, and was a very big part of a record-setting season in which the Pawtucket Red Sox hit a AAA record 219 home runs. And he hit the record home run for the Pawtucket Red Sox that year in 1996. Pawtucket was filled with a lot of home run hitters that season. Omar Garcia-Parra, a big part of that 96 Pawtucket Red Sox squad. Rudy Pemberton, Wayne Hosey, Alex Cole, among others. And this is away, and it's a full count. I believe that record still stands. 219 home runs, the most by a AAA team in a season. Of course, you're dealing with basically a month less of a season at the AAA level. Selby sends it in the air to left field. Manny Ramirez going back, and that ball is up and off the wall. The ricochet played by Manny barehanded. Ian Damon out there in left center field, but it's a wall ball double for Bill Selby.
Selby taking the Pedro fastball to the opposite field and comes down just above the scoreboard for the double.
Number 24, the center fielder, Milton Bradley.
Pedro felt like he might have had Selby struck out on the pitch earlier, and Selby gets another chance and flanks it up that left field wall. Activity now starting in the Red Sox bullpen.
There is Milton Bradley, who struck out, grounded out, takes the pitch inside. Bradley coming over from the Expos last year to the Cleveland Indians. Expos giving up on Milton Bradley. Sends it in the air to left center field. Damon moves over and makes the catch. Selby back to the bag at second, one down.
Damon would not be my fielder of choice to be hitting it anywhere in his direction tonight.
He's covered the whole gap area quite nicely tonight.
Yep, going to his left and also to his right.
Ben Broussard.
Here's Ben Broussard, who hit a home run, one of three hit tonight by the Cleveland Indians off Pedro Martinez. Jim Thome with his 21st of the year, and Ellis Burks with his 12th. The breaking ball in there for a strike. The next pitch from Pedro Martinez will be his 100th of the night. And it's line foul down beyond Canvas Alley. Red Sox with action in the pen. Garces, and behind the box, Chris Haney. Which appeared to have more life last night, coming back in his first appearance back for the Red Sox. From a confidence standpoint, there's strike three to Broussard. 9th K of the night for Pedro Martinez, 2 down.
I wouldn't say that Bell's been squeezing Pedro tonight, but there have been a couple that could have been called strikes and similar pitches to this. This time he does get the strike call from Bell.
Two down. Selby was at second base with nobody out. He's still there with 2 down. Leonard Diaz 0 for 2 as he takes strike one from Pedro.
This will probably be the last inning for Pedro. Up over 100 pitches now, as you mentioned, Don.
Ray Cloninger on the phone to the bullpen. Diaz fouls it off the right side, and he's in the hole. 0-2. Pedro has struck out 9 tonight. This last time out against the San Diego Padres, he struck out 11. New action in the Boston pen. Tim Wakefield now up. The 0-2 to Einar Diaz. He got a piece, staying alive, still nothing in 2.
0-2 changeup from Pedro, and Diaz just getting the top of the baseball. Pedro would like to finish this inning out with the punch out.
Just missing. Veritek framed it over the outside edge. It appeared, and it's now 1-2 to Einar Diaz.
Crowd wanted it, but that ball certainly outside.
Pedro Martinez has 83 career 10 strikeout performances or more. This is lined softly and snared by Hillenbrand. That'll do it in the 7th inning. Bill Selby left in scoring position. 7th inning stretch time from Fenway. Red Sox on top 6-4. Back at Fenway, Red Sox on top 6-4 as we get ready for the bottom of the 7th inning. Let's check out the Heineken What's on Tap. Tomorrow, the final game of the series against the Indians at 7 on Fox 25. And the Atlanta Braves are in as we go back to interleague play against the Red Sox natural rival. We have the first one at 6:30. Our coverage begins on Friday night. Fox 25, or actually Fox National, I should say, Saturday, and then on Sunday, the final game of that series, a matinee game on Fox 25. Well, the Blue Jays will be in for a 4-game series. A doubleheader on Tuesday for the Red Sox. On to the bottom of the 7th inning. Johnny Damon, Carlos Baerga, and Omar Garcia-Parra ready to face the left-hand reliever Heath Murray. He came on last inning. And with 1 out, gave up a base hit to Trot Nixon, but he was able to induce an inning-ending double play from Jose Offerman. Told tonight that the Yankees now have a 6-4 lead over Baltimore. Jorge Posada with a 2-run home run in the top of the 6th inning as the Yankees on top by 2. Johnny Damon tripled with the bases loaded in the 5th inning. The drive in 3 cleared the bases. Now 38 RBIs. It's this in the air to right center field. Milton Bradley moving over. And the Indian center fielder makes the catch for the first out. Let's check in with Tom Caron. Tom.
Thanks very much, Don. We are here with Joe Kennedy, who is our Citizens Bank Night typical fan. And Joe, pretty good seats.
Fantastic. Listen, I've never, first of all, I don't even know that these seats existed about a month ago. But it's the most, and what a great game to be here for.
Well, you're saying last time you were here, this would have been on the field.
I think it really would have been. I was looking for the wall, but I mean, and there's been about 6 foul balls. As a matter of fact, the lady sitting right next to us took one in the back, but her son stood right up for her and stood there and got the ball back, and a couple of the players came out and gave him a ball. It was a nice thing to see.
You knew he'd be brave. He's got an Irish national soccer team shirt on.
He's got the mug of Ireland on that face of his.
Let's talk real quickly about the Citizens Energy Corporation. How's that going?
Citizens going great, although on a night like tonight, I'm not sure if people are worried too much about heating oil. But anyway, no, Citizens is going terrific. But, you know, it's just, what a great thing to come out to watch the ball game. I got my kids, my wife. We're just having a wonderful evening. I mean, there's no place else in America that you can come to a ballpark like this, watch a team come back the way the Red Sox have tonight. It's just been a great evening.
There you go. That's an ad right there for the Red Sox. Joe, thanks.
It's a wonderful night. Thank you very much.
Great night out here in the ballpark, guys. Go back upstairs.
All right, Tom. Well, Carlos Baerga has singled with 1 out, his 2nd hit of the night. And that's going to do it for Heath Murray, the left-hander who came on last inning. Got the first out of the inning, but after giving up a base hit to Carlos Baerga, the Indians will go to the pen. The 4th pitcher of the night coming on for Cleveland. We're still in the midst of the bottom of the 7th inning with the Red Sox on top 6-4. We'll step aside and come back and tell you about the new Indians pitcher.
Well, all fans 15 and under entering Fenway Park to watch the Red Sox take on the Blue Jays on Thursday, July 4th, to receive a patriotic Wally the Beanbag Buddy, compliments of Conn's Fenway Franks. A limited amount of single tickets are still available for the game.
Well, Heath Murray gone after an inning in the third, giving up 1 hit. And the new pitcher on was part of the Roberto Alomar deal, Jared Riggin.
Yeah, he and Matt Lawton coming over to the Cleveland Indians, and a number of other players. That was, of course, the Alomar deal. Danny Peoples going the other way. 14th appearance overall, 28 hits in 16 innings, 9 walks and 11 strikeouts. Last year was in 35 games with the Mets, 1 game with the Mets in the year 2000.
6 foot 397 pounds, and now 28 years old. He will face Nomar Garciaparra with Carlos Baerga at first. 1 out, bottom of the 7th inning. Red Sox on top by 2, 6-4, out hitting Cleveland 8-5. The departed pitcher Heath Murray still responsible for Baerga, who's at first. Riggin with a throw over. Quick move that had Baerga lunging back to the bag.
Hey, you would think by this stage in the game he might have their attention. He's got a couple of steals in the game to give him 6 total on the season. Has not been caught.
And then again, Baerga back to the bag. Riggin appearing in 35 games last year with the Mets, all out of the bullpen, 3-3. Wow, there's a sidearm toss. Quick bid to get Baerga, but again he's back. And is now most concerned with his progress over there is Jared Riggin. Waiting patiently at the plate as Nomar has yet to see a pitch from the new reliever. And another throw over, and Carlos this time diving back head first. Finally a pitch, and it's up and into Nomar. Outfield straight away for Garciaparra. Soft toss this time to the bag at first.
What's that? 5 throws to first and 1 to the plate.
Baerga 6 for 6 tonight. 2 stolen bases, 1 in the first, 1 in the 5th. You can't believe the attention he's now receiving at first base. Again, up and into Nomar. 2-0. Riggin has become so concerned with Baerga at first base. Now he's fallen behind Garciaparra. 2-0 has not been close in 2 deliveries. Baerga's lead at first is very small. And there for the strike, 2-1.
Carlos makes up for that, though. He gets a small lead, but he starts running before the pitcher even comes home. So it ends up being a big lead.
Here's Carlos spending the bulk of his career as a member of the Cleveland Indians. And 2-1. Nomar thought about it and holds off, and he's ahead 3-1.
They called the balk.
Wow. That will place Baerga at second base, so all of that concern over Carlos, and they charge Riggin with the balk. It gets into second anyway. Here comes Charlie Manuel.
Manuel wants to know what the pitcher did. You would have to guess it was for not stopping. I don't see anything else out of the ordinary. Tough to tell from where we started that. If we can run it maybe in regular motion, regular speed, might give you a better idea. Comes up into the set position. Looked like there was a stop there.
Yeah. Wow. John Hirschbeck, the veteran umpire, making the call from third base. Bayergen scoring position with 1 out. A count of 2-1. Actually 3-1 to Nomar. Scoreboard says 2-1. It's 3-1 to Garciaparra. And a full count now.
Changeup on the 3-1 count.
Garciaparra 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. The RBI is 59th of the season. Tied with Jason Giambi in that category. Tied for third in the American League in RBIs. And did he offer? Yes, he did. They ring him up. C.B. Bucknor from first base says he offered. Kind of a rabbit punch type swing from Nomar. And a strikeout for Jared Riggin. 2 down.
Nomar doesn't agree. Anytime you see that first base umpire walking in toward home plate, he wants to be off. And it generally means he's going to call a hitter out. That ball back clearly out in front of the plate. And the correct call made there by C.B. Bucknor. Ever notice that, Don? When they start walking in toward that first base back, they want to make the call.
Ask me, ask me. Well, they did ask him, and Bucknor rings up Nomar. They're going to intentionally walk Manny Ramirez with first base open.
Seems a little bit strange seeing that Manny has not been back very long. He did have a base hit to drive in a run last time up. Hillenbrand, of course, has been a fairly hot hitter, but they'll take their chances with Hillenbrand.
And this is the 9th intentional walk of the season for Manny Ramirez.
Now, even after all the time that he missed, he's still third in the league in that category. Ichiro at 16, Delgado 11, and Manny with 9.
Sets the stage for Shea Hillenbrand. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Shea has flied out twice and has grounded out. It's the second time Shea has come up to Creed. I have a feeling now the pairs of individual songs maybe. We're starting to see a pattern here. Hillenbrand 0 for 3 tonight. And out after the first pitch, fouling it off. Hillenbrand 2 for 4 last night. Here gets second, the responsibility of Heath Murray, the left-handed pitcher who started the inning in left. Ramirez at first base, 2 on, 2 outs. And the 0-1 pitch to Shea Hillenbrand. Bounces in, nicely corralled by Einar Diaz, 1-1. Riggin with the 1-1 pitch. Hillenbrand grounds it to third. Selby will go to second, and they retire the middleman in Ramirez, forced out at second base to end the inning. So the Red Sox leave a pair of men on through 7. 6-4 Boston.
Post-game show brought to you by Keyspan, putting more energy into life. After the last inning, the action is just beginning.
Now Pedro Martinez worked the first 7 innings tonight, giving up 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 home runs. He didn't walk anybody. He struck out 9 and departs with a chance to pick up his 9th win of the year. The new pitcher for the Red Sox is Tim Wakefield.
24th appearance for Wakefield, 2-2 record. The last game that he worked in was yesterday against Cleveland. Pitched the 7th inning. 1 hit and 1 strikeout for Wake in that ball game.
We did a little saying before the game that Tim Wakefield likely would get a start in the doubleheader against the Toronto Blue Jays on Tuesday here at Fenway. and said that a lot could happen between now and then, but right now plan A is to have Tim Wakefield pitch in one of those games as a starter. Wakefield will deal with John McDonald, the London, Connecticut native who leads it off in the top of the 8th for the Indians. The Orioles have pulled ahead of the Yankees 7-6. Mike Bordick with an RBI single has put Baltimore on top 7-6 over the Yankees. So
that's a wild one, huh?
Back and forth all night. So the Yankees are losing right now while the Red Sox are winning. It's 2-1 to McDonald. He'll be followed by Chris Magruder and Holbert Cabrera here in the top of the 8th inning. Swing and a miss. 2-2. We see John McDonald and we see Lou Merlone all the time here for the Red Sox. Certainly sad that Providence College no longer has a baseball program. Certainly was a very good one. As McDonald strikes out, held on to by Veritek. There's the first out of the 8th. The 10th strikeout tonight for Red Sox pitching.
Hey, you had a graphic. They had a graphic earlier that he was second team All East when he was playing for Providence. That must have been a pretty good first team.
Yeah, I know.
The right fielder, Chris.
Yeah, it must have been. A lot of college programs would never have players reach the major leagues. Of course, Lou Merlone on the other side for the Red Sox and John McDonald for the Cleveland Indians. And a program that no longer exists at Providence College. I don't think Lou has really forgiven his alma mater for that. Certainly was opposed to it. He's in there for the strike. Quickly 0-2 to Chris Magruder.
Didn't they win a championship in their final year?
I don't know.
I think they did.
Did they really? Knocked up, foul back below us. 0-2 to Chris Magruder. Blowing towards left center field. The flag out in left center as strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Tim Wakefield. 2 down. Let's check into the Nesson studio and Bob Rogers. Bob.
Donnie, rough night for Roger Clemens. He gets tagged for 3 home runs and he gets charged with all 3 runs in the 6th inning by the Orioles. Brian Roberts' double will score. Mike Bordick caps the 3-run rally. The Yankees trail it now 7-6 in the top of the 7th.
Back here at Fenway, 6-4, Red Sox on top, 2 down in the 8th. Albert Cabrera, who is 0 for 3 tonight, is struck out, flied out, grounded out. And Cabrera fouling it off, 1-1 now. Cabrera, 29 from Cartagena, Colombia. He gets a piece, 1-2. His brother Orlando played also for the Montreal Expos, both seeing time in the major leagues.
The contrast in styles they're seeing Pedro Martinez to the knuckleball of Tim Wakefield.
From one end of the spectrum to the other. Wakefield dropped down, thought he had him.
Oh, everybody did. Veritek was running toward the home plate, first base dugout. Watch Veritek's reaction on this sidearm knuckleball. He'll pop up and start going to the dugout.
That's a strike. The 2-2. Hauls it back.
I hate to disagree with you, Donald.
You don't think so?
No, the umpire called it a ball.
Well, no. Now, had you been the umpire, what would you have called that?
Strike 3.
That's what I thought. Wakefield trying to strike out the side. McDonald has struck out. Magruder has struck out. And Cabrera takes ball 3, a full count. Pedro struck out 9 before he left in his 7 innings of work. A 3-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. He rings him up. McDonald, Magruder, and Cabrera all down by way of the K as Wakefield strikes out the side. On to the bottom of the 8th. 6-4 Boston. Park, where the Red Sox have a 6-4 lead. A big 6-run 5th inning with the Red Sox trailing 4-0. The bases were loaded for Johnny Damon, who triples and clears the bases. Rolls around and down in the corners. Damon continues to run. 3-run score, and it is a 6-run bottom of the 5th inning for Boston, which spelled the end for Ryan Drees, the starter, charged with all 6 runs over his 4+ innings of work. Pedro leaves with a chance to pick up his 9th win of the year. 7 innings, 4 runs, striking out 9, walking no one. Johnny Damon, who's been spectacular defensively with the triple and 3 runs batted in. Burks with a 2-run home run. Jim Thome with a solo home run. And a home run for Ben Broussard off of Pedro Martinez, who did give up 3 round trippers in the game tonight. Jason Varitek, Brian Daubach, and Trot Nixon to face the new pitcher, lefty Ricardo Rincon.
36th appearance of the season, 2nd of this series. He worked 2/3 of an inning in the ball game last night here at Fenway. 20 strikeouts and 27 2/3.
Varitek 1 for 3 in the game tonight, singled and scored in the 5th. In lieu of Brian Daubach on deck, Ricky Henderson has come out. So Ricky has grabbed a bat. He will pinch hit here, it appears, for Brian Daubach. Daubach was 1 for 2 with an RBI double tonight. Was hit by a pitch. This is the second lefty used tonight by the Indians. Heath Murray worked an inning in a 3rd. Cleveland has used 5 pitchers. All the runs charged with their starter, Ryan Drees. This is juice towards right center field. Back by the bullpen. Into the bullpen. Solo home run for Jason Varitek, his 6th of the year. And the Red Sox lead it 7-4.
Now Varitek picking up his 2nd from the right side of the plate this year, and hits this ball a long way to the opposite field. Opposite field power for Varitek into that Red Sox bullpen. So Varitek with a 2-hit night, picks up his 28th RBI of the season.
Ricky Henderson will bat for Brian Daubach as anticipated. And Ricky takes strike 1. Henderson did not play yesterday, riding a 3-game hitting streak. Off a road trip in which he was just 3 for 18 at 167. It's already on the cut, down 0-2. Ricky needs 1 single to tie Luke Appling for 23rd place all time. He needs 26 hits to tie Rod Carew. As the milestones continue to pile up for Ricky Henderson. Most recently missing 12 games with the right hip and lower back soreness after backing up into the wall at Yankee Stadium a few Sundays ago. Strike 3 to Henderson. A quick at bat. He will disagree, but he'll take with him the first strikeout for Ricardo Rincon.
Now Ricky's not going to like that call, and that has not been called very much tonight by Bell, the home plate umpire. That ball did look to be down and away.
Number 7, the right fielder, Trot Nixon.
Ricky looks back in disbelief.
One out. Here's Trot Nixon. who's 2 for 3 tonight. Nixon may have his third hit and does. Drops it into shallow left field. Nixon with a 3-hit performance tonight.
And his second hit tonight off a left-hander, both in the same direction, out toward the left field. That one off Heath Murray over the head of McDonald last time out. Same direction, breaking ball, and Nixon picks up his third hit, second off a lefty.
The only time he has been out tonight, he hit the ball hard to the warning track in left field back in the second inning. The single to right, 2 singles to left, 3 hits in all tonight for Nixon. The Red Sox, with that hit, jump into double figures, out hitting Cleveland 10-5. Here's Offerman, who does not have a hit tonight, 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Rounded into a double play last time up in the 6th inning. And a check on Nixon, who has to just cross over 1 step to return to the bag. Red Sox trying to end a 4-game skid. And to begin tonight, it was a tall task with Cleveland jumping out to the 4-0 advantage. And the Red Sox score 6 times in the bottom of the 5th. They've added a run here in the bottom of the 8th and lead it 7-4 as we play in the bottom of the 8th with 1 down. And Ramirez 1 for 3 tonight with an intentional walk and a run batted in. The 1-1 to Offerman. It's up and away. 2-1 to Jose. The top of the Red Sox order, Johnny Damon, waits on deck. In there for the strike, 2-2. Nixon with a short lead at first, being held on by Jim Thome. The 2-2. Inside corner, strike 3. Offerman rung up by Wally Bell, 2 down.
Everything had been away from Offerman in that at bat, and then with the 2 strikes, Rincon comes inside with the fastball, and Offerman jumping back and picks up the inside corner. 2 strikeouts on this inning, and neither one of the hitters like the call very much, Henderson or Offerman.
Red Sox with action in the pen as Uguet Urbina is warming in the bullpen. And it stands the way it does as Nixon takes off. The pitch is strike, and Diaz can't find the handle. Popped up and out of the glove.
Well, the go-go Red Sox tonight. 3 steals. Baega with 2, and now Nixon in the rush to transfer from the glove to the throwing hand. Diaz just drops the ball, and Nixon picks up his 4th steal of the season.
The 0-1 pitch to Johnny Damon. This is inside. Well, the seesaw battle continues in Baltimore. The Yankees are now ahead 8-7. Alfonso Soriano with an RBI single has put the Yankees on top. There's Urbina in the pen. The score remains the same. It would be a save situation for Ugi. Who right now has 20 saves on the season.
Pitching is not exactly dominated in that Yankee game tonight.
Nixon in scoring position, 2 down as Johnny Damon waits on the 1-2. Evens up at 2-2. Uguet Urbina with 20 saves is behind everyday Eddie Guardado of the Minnesota Twins, who has 22 saves to lead the American League in that category. And then Cone glances at second, and the 2-2. Damon slaps it foul off the left side. Tomorrow night, the final game of this 3-game series between the Red Sox and the Indians. John Burke hit 7-3 against CC Sabathia. The lefty was 5-6 with a 5.00 earned run average. And Damon strikes out, went lunging, and Rincon ends up striking out the side after Veritek. It's a solo home run to give the Red Sox a 7-4 lead as we head to the 9th. It's Oogie time. Speed pass, today's way to pay.
Top of the 9th at Fenway. The Red Sox have the 7-4 lead. We remind you this copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Boston Red Sox may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and description of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Boston Red Sox.
Well, as anticipated, Urbina is on.
20 for 21 in save opportunities. He worked in the ball game last night, pitched an inning against the Indians, and had a couple of strikeouts. As Don mentioned, 2 behind Eddie Guardado for the lead in the American League. Didn't work very much on that last road trip for the Red Sox.
Those Burks, Jim Thome, and Bill Selby, the expected hitters in the 9th. Burks 1 for 3, hit a 2-run home run back in the first inning off Pedro Martinez. The home run for Burks is 12th. He's not had success against Urbina. 0 for 8 in his career against Oogie. And Urbina missing up top, 2-0. Urbina trying to save it for Pedro Martinez. Tim Wakefield worked 1 inning and struck out the side in order. McDonald, Magruder, and Cabrera all striking out in the 8th. And there for the strike, 2-1.
3 runs down. Looks like Ellis Burks taking a strike all the way here to lead off the 9th.
Check swing fouled off the left side, and it's quickly even at 2-2. Burks has had a lot of injuries over the course of his career.
A lot of knee problems. Advantage for him coming in the American League and being able to DH.
He's leaving Boston, of course, with the Chicago White Sox, the Colorado Rockies, the San Francisco Giants, and now in his 2nd season with the Cleveland Indians. Well, the 2-2. Line to left, a base hit. Ellis Burks with his 2nd hit of the night. The Indians need base runners, and they had the lead man aboard in the 9th.
Ellis Burks has always been an excellent thigh-high fastball hitter, and put that one right on the line for the base hit. Do you see the size of that bat boy for Cleveland?
I think that might be his son.
Yep. He's hustling out there getting those bats.
A little trouble getting it in there, a little high.
Gonna give him a little step ladder for that high rack.
There's Thome, who sends it through the vacated right side into right field. Up to second base goes Ellis Burks, and now the Indians will bring the potential tying run to the plate with nobody out in the 9th.
2 balls hit very hard in this inning. Burks' base hit. Now Jim Thome with the line drive base hit.
Bill Selby will indeed bat for himself. He doubled his last time up after striking out twice tonight against Pedro. 1 for 3. You mentioned the fact that Urbina did not have a lot of opportunities to pitch on the last road trip. And tonight in there in a save situation. Back-to-back base hits for the Indians to open the ninth. To Bill Selby. In there for strike 1-1. Pedro Martinez went the first 7 tonight, giving up the 4 runs that the Indians have in the game. Boston coming back with some runs for Pedro. Tim Wakefield in a shutout inning with 3 strikeouts, and now Urbina working the ninth. 2 on, nobody out, and Selby sends it foul. Now down 1-2. Bill Selby appearing in his 14th game of the year for the Cleveland Indians. He has spent the bulk of the year at AAA Buffalo with the Bisons. Ruge gets the sign from Varitek. Ready with the 1-2 pitch. In the air to center field. Johnny Damon moving back. It's carrying pretty well. It'll take him onto the dirt of the track, but he'll make the catch. Birch will tag up at second and move over to third, but the first out of the ninth recorded on a long fly out by Bill Selby.
These are the kind of nights that anything hit in the air toward the outfield with the wind blowing out and warm and humid, you become concerned about. Selby taking Damon back to the warning track. Still some room for Johnny. Makes the catch for the first out.
There's Milton Bradley, who's 0 for 3 tonight. He has struck out, grounded out, flied out. Urbina has been behind, is behind here 1-0. Bradley at just 176 on the season with runners in scoring position. Fooled him on that pitch, 1-1. Off speed. Ben Broussard, who hit a home run in the 5th inning. Pedro Martinez waits on deck. Chop towards first. Offerman will go to second for 1. Urbina covers the put out there. The Red Sox win it. 3-6-1 on the game-ending double play. And Urbina needed that after leadoff back-to-back base hits for Burks and Tomey. But he gets Bradley to ground into the game-ending double play. And the Red Sox snap a 4-game losing streak with a victory tonight. A game apiece in this 3-game series between the Red Sox and Cleveland Indians. The Red Sox capture their 46th win of the year and better their record to 46-28 on the season. They make a winner of Pedro Martinez, his 9th victory of the year. A terrific night for Johnny Damon. With the bases loaded, able to clear the bases with a triple. And some fine defensive play, and certainly Grady Little happy that the mini losing streak of 4 games has ended here tonight. And a fine comeback for the Red Sox as they win it 7-4. Martinez the winner, now 9-2. The loss goes to Ryan Drees, who drops to 7-6 in the 21st save of the year for Uget Urbina. Again, the final: Boston 7, Cleveland 4. Be sure and stay with us. Extra innings coming up next on NESN.
Are known for capability, and now during the Jeep Challenge, we rule on a whole new level, starting with our 7-year 100,000-mile powertrain pledge on engines and transmissions. Plus now, qualified returning Daimler Chrysler lessees can get a $298 a month lease on Jeep Liberty. So take the Jeep Challenge. You'll see we're hard to beat.
Hey, you guys got to give me a head start next time.
Great products, great protection, great values. Take the Jeep Challenge. See your New England Jeep dealer.
Vibe, the evolutionary malt beverage infused with natural flavors.
DJ.
Different grooves, one vibe.
Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee. The coffee you love served ice cold. You just can't live without it. Escape to a cooler place with Dunkin' Donuts' new Summer Sipper and keep your iced coffee ice cold.
You like simple better than complicated. You like quick better than slow. And you like peace of mind. So pay with SpeedPass, because if it's lost or stolen, you won't have to pay for unauthorized purchases. Security is guaranteed. You like there better than here. How do we know? We're drivers too.
Think it? Do it with Dodge Durango SXT. VA power at a price no other SUV can touch. Kicking CD sound system, big wheels and tires, and roof rack. All for just under $27,000. Better get it in gear. Now qualified returning Daimler Chrysler lessees can lease a Dodge Durango 4x4 SXT for just $279 a month for 36 months.
Mike?
Fred?
Yeah.
Hey. Afternoon.
So you found us okay?
No problem. Here are those checks for the new account.
Oh, great. Yeah, just in time. Well, have a good trip back.
What's that?
Well, that's the main highway.
Main highway?
The new Mohegan Sun. Come play.
What's wrong, Jim?
I think I've grown a second evil head.
Oh, I'm sorry. What if we go get a refreshing Mike's Hard Iced Tea? Would that help?
I didn't know Mike's made a hard iced tea.
A hard day calls for a hard iced tea. Make it Mike's.
Closed captioning for extra innings on Nesson is provided by Verizon, the Yawkey Foundation, Dunkin' Donuts, and Aflac.
It was a tale of two games tonight. The Tribe's Tall Jacks put the Sox and Pedro on edge, but the Red Sox come back as Johnny Damon sends them over the top. Extra innings starts right now on Nesson.
Live from our Nesson studios, Extra Innings. Extra Innings is brought to you by Keyspan, putting more energy into life.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Extra Innings. Great to have you with us for Red Sox baseball tonight. Back to the old winning ways as the Red Sox, as we speak right now, Jimmy, they are in first place, tied with the Yankees, ahead of them in the loss column. The Bombers right now all tied up 7-7. Well, the Orioles will keep you up to date on that. But right now, time for our Keyspan player of the game, and that is Johnny Damon. Tonight, Johnny only had the one hit, but it was a big one, the triple. With the bases loaded, he is tied for first in the American League with triples. He's first in runs, fourth in average. He's hitting .322. So Johnny Damon, our Keyspan player of the game. Please join Keyspan and Johnny in supporting the Boys and Girls Clubs of Boston. Keyspan putting more energy into life, and our player of the game, Johnny Damon, down on the field right now with Tom Carey.
much. Johnny David is our key span player of the game. Johnny, a big inning there, 6 runs in the 5th. This team has sort of been looking to put something like that together for the last 10 days or so. How big is it to get one tonight?
Oh, it's real big. I mean, we're too good of a team to be losing games like we have. I mean, we've been losing a lot of close ball games, but, you know, we got Manny back. We have a new life, and we're making Carlos happy. We're finally able to play music in the clubhouse.
Talk about your bases loaded triple.
Well, I'm feeling pretty good at the plate right now. You know, I'm changing up a couple things because you have to constantly make adjustments. So I made an adjustment. I got a pitch down and in, and I was able to work it around the corner. And unfortunately, it was a big hit for us. Got us back in the game. And then Nomar came through with a big hit, and Manny. So it worked out great for us tonight.
A couple of big catches for you tonight. Talk about the one in the 3rd going away on Cabrera.
You know, whatever makes the pitcher's job easier. I mean, that's what I'm out there for. That's why they got me, and hopefully I can continue to make good plays out there. But, you know, our job's not done. We need to keep going out and playing with great enthusiasm, and if we can do that, we're going to win a lot of ball games.
What gets you more pumped up? Great defensive play or a big hit at the plate?
Well, you know, it just depends when it happens. I mean, if it's a game saver, you definitely like to make that catch, but you also like to come up in a key situation. So I'll have to flip a coin on that one.
Get in there before the music plays. Johnny, thanks.
All right, thank you.
That's Johnny David, our key span player of the game. Let's go back upstairs to Don and Jerry.
All right, Tom. Well, the Red Sox snapped the 4-game losing streak tonight with a victory over the Cleveland Indians, coming back and some hitting and some clutch hitting. But Pedro Martinez tonight picks up the win.
Now, first of all, Don, you know, prior to the game, all the writers are asking Grady Little, what's it going to take to get out of this offensive slump? Well, he doesn't really know. The answer is, you know, maybe one big hit, one big inning, and that's what happened tonight. The Red Sox had the beginning, and the big hit in that inning was by Johnny Damon, the triple to clear the bases. And you mentioned Pedro. You know, he didn't have his best stuff, but once he got the lead, he shut him down after that. And again, the bullpen was great. So a nice overall effort, stop that losing streak, and maybe that is the type of inning that can get the offense going.
Well, the Red Sox will try to take 2 out of 3 tomorrow night from the Cleveland Indians. That does it for us up here. Back to you guys down in the studio.
All right, Donnie, nice to say, too, the first place Boston Red Sox once again. As we mentioned, the Yankees tied up with the Orioles.